If anything else, I think it's an autopsy process. When you do a monograph, I always think first and more is for the author, and then that hopefully establishes a dialogue with whatever audience the book can reach. The closest thing I can think of is an autopsy. It's an autopsy of a body or bodies of work, and it forces to confront with yourself. I'm Hernán Díaz-Alonso. I'm the director of SCIARC. I'm also the principal and founder of HDAX Creative Agency. The book is called The Surreal Visions of Hernán Díaz-Alonso. It's not my title. Taitz & Hudson, Lucas Dietrich, and his team came with the title. Whatever surrealism or surreal means seems to match with the nature of my work that is in the book. So that was a little bit the idea of the title. I think it had to do also with let's say, certain difficulty to catalog the work as a traditional work of architecture. The book is full of other ideas and it's full of other stuff that is not necessarily architecture, even though it's done by the work of architects. The book is organized almost as a conversation in the way that you will talk with a friend or a colleague about things that you've been working. That was a little bit the idea of the structure, so that it doesn't have a linearity, but it goes back and forth all the time. And there's a lot of images, there are like provocations and separations between this. So there are certain things that are inspiring or by almost free associations that separate that, and there are certain keywords that appear here and there, that they are words and I use and overuse all the time to explain qualities of the work. And then there is the text of the people that collaborate in it, which also was in relation a little bit with this notion of the trip inside my head and so on like that. So all the people who contribute to the book, Joe Day, Benjamin Bratton, Marcel Ingao, Florencia Pita, and Rachel McCall, they are people who have a very close relation with me. On top of that, there was a road trip that I did with David Root to Las Vegas that was recorded, and we transcribed it pretty literal about the conversation that we were talking about, things that were related to the work in the book, and we sprinkled that all over the book. I want to mention also John Hawk's contribution, Chief Design Officer of Nike and Vice President of Nike, which it's somebody who I have a really good relation. I have to give credit to Lucas to bring up the idea for him to write the intro of the book. It started like something should be very simple and short, and he wrote an incredibly beautiful and generous essay. So to the book to be like an agency for a dialogue with people that operate in different level of design, that's really cool. It may seem on the surface a little bit chaotic, it doesn't seem to have an order, but it has one. I was interested in the book that wherever you open it, it will have something to say. We live in a time in which the role of books is changing, as we know, and then the role of monograph is changing. Generationally, I'm somebody who still are very much seduced and in love with books. I still buy a lot of books and monographs of designers, artists, architects, musicians that I admire. So I put a lot of premium in the value of a book because I think it allows you to go more in depth about whatever interest you have in the work of somebody. It's almost like it's something that it was not even the thing that you were working on. When the conversation of the title was, I was more inclined to the idea of the word obsessions than visions, because I think it tells the stories about recurring obsessions, which I don't think I'm alone on that. I think pretty much any designer operates that way. So I think there are recurrent topics, recurrent ideas. And the interesting thing is some of them that go way beyond before I was even interested to be an architect or before starting study architecture. Any of these books, they are highly biographical in a way. So yes, there's a whole series of obsessions. And also I think there is an underlying story of identity. I mean, trying to figure out who you are, where you're coming from, and the different cultures that you've been part of it, the culture that you were born and raised, and the culture that you became part of it. So there is a little bit of that. I wanted to have a book, straightforward book. Part of that is because I think many publishers are less and less interested to publish the work of people that may not be recognizable figures on the mainstream in whatever discipline. So Lucas Dietrich, which I have to be super thankful to him, the editor at Taitz & Hudson, he is a big lover and fan of architecture, and he's still invested in publishing the work of people like me and many others. One thing I want to be very thankful to Lucas and to Taitz & Hudson is They didn't ask for anything. They didn't ask for bring a grant or to bring any financial support for the book. They were just committed to do it. So hopefully the book helps to keep underlying that value. I see that there is a rebirth in certain level of books and people consuming books. I think books have a presence of time that is powerful.